Hi guys, I want to introduce myself. I am Brianna Kaneshiro, cousins with Eben Kaneshiro. And I want to share my perspective of BJ Penn's perspective and worldview. This is in no way meant to disrupt legal or medical advice or influences, diagnoses that are currently happening. My intention is I don't want to go viral with this. I'm trying to reach a very specific target audience with this one. And that is my martial arts community, my martial arts men who know, and women, and everything in between, who know firsthand, gymnasts even, what can go down during training. I have been trained in high school wrestling and then one class with like a Greco style Olympian. And I've dabbled in judo, learned a bit of Krav Maga, which if you are looking to reconnect your spirituality, your femininity, and your masculinity all together, I would highly recommend Krav Yoga. I know that it was available at Rising Phoenix Studio in Tucson, one of the coolest gyms ever. They also do jujitsu there. I dabbled in jujitsu a little bit. But then I got injured. I got another TBI. And this TBI really freaking did it for me. So before I explain my opinion of BJ Penn's perspective, I would like to explain a little bit where I'm coming from so you don't think I'm just some local girl over here with one fake chain. I'm pretty sure the amethyst is real though. You're gonna feel me kind of loosen up a bit and then focus more in. Comedy is my relief. The general public may not view it that way, but I know that some of my martial arts community will see the laughter as release and coping. The first TBI I had was probably when I was like younger and I tripped and fell on the sidewalk outside and I got a big lump on my head. I was so young, I healed pretty quickly. I don't know if that even truly counts. Moving on. Second one. I got whacked in the back of my head, like right on that spot. While I was sitting down, painting my nails. I was trying to avoid. I wasn't trying to instigate anymore. I wasn't trying to add fire. And so the hit came from behind, unsuspecting. And I didn't know at the time. I actually, reflecting on it years later, when I had an actual concussion, I realized, that gave me a concussion. And I remember flying forward in my seat, and then I just sat back down and continued painting my nails. Tears fucking up the polish. Third concussion. I had a neck injury and I needed ankle surgery. The ankle surgery had stemmed from the previous sports season, the beginning, the preseason, and I decided to prolong the surgery date, to push it back. And I did a volleyball season and a wrestling season. I was, I think, 3-0 or 4-0 the whole wrestling season. But on the day that it really mattered, my body was just kind of giving out. And I landed on my head. I chipped part of my tooth and swallowed it and like blacked out for a little bit on the mat. But because I blacked out, I didn't know I blacked out. I just know that I lost and that I really didn't feel good and I was sad. However, in the trainer's office, I was fine. Later, I learned when I almost got T-boned driving my teammate home that I had a concussion and that my perception of timing was off. And that moment of I almost killed somebody for a misdiagnosis or something that I didn't even know like was happening changes things. It changes things. Where are we? Are we on the third? Fourth TBI. It was 2019. And I was unplugging something. And I was on my period. I was kind of irritated. Like, it was the end of the day. It was like the last thing I needed to do. And I did it aggressively. So there was a wooden shelf about this thick above the drawer that I was pulling out. And so when I bent down to unplug, I hit like the top of my head, like right here, so hard that it's almost like I blacked out standing up. I knew immediately that, okay, well, I'm definitely going to have an injury from this. However, I didn't know how serious that injury would be. 5th concussion or 5th traumatic brain injury. Yes. There was another one. After the big one, there was another one. I was moving things out of my storage unit into my car to move into my first apartment ever. Single bathroom, like I did it. It was like a really kind of like, I can't say anything because of an NDA. I can't say anything because of an NDA, but when I was moving my stuff out of the storage unit into my car, I don't know how I did it. I bent down too quickly and hit my head. Yeah, I know, okay? I hit my head solid on my car and I didn't know that I had a concussion till I had one drink later and I was just like, whoa, wait, why do I feel like I really feel the alcohol? And I was like, oh my shit, I have a concussion on top of everything that I still wasn't even healed from. So with all of that experience now in this present moment, this crown chakra area, like where your soft spot used to be as a baby, there's different ways to open it, and I guess slamming your head on shit or getting knocked out or whatever is one way to do it. So, ignoring the physicality of it all, if a sports entertainer has had multiple head injuries, it can affect their psyche especially if they are receiving spiritual abilities and a closer spiritual connection to the divine. If you are unaware that a head injury, such as a TBI, not only has the capability of opening your crown chakra, considering that yes, it may all be physical, chemical, but either way, the bodily damage is done. However, it is not a loss if you are willing to accommodate yourself, be patient with yourself as your body heals, and tap into and appreciate that rough awakening of the crown chakra, of having your chakras split open. So, the scariest thing about BJ Penn, as I have observed with the sources that I have received through the divine in physical forms and channeled messages, to think that your family are clones, or that a lot of the people around you are clones, you can't really trust people, arguing in a way that seems like it could get violent. I don't know him, I don't know their family. I will share my story about Eben at the end. But for now, this perspective of people being clones could be translated to seeing inauthenticity, abuse, dark spirits or entities, pain, and whatever falsehoods. There is a possibility that he can see through your soul. But if you look at it from a psychological, psychiatric lens only, you are slapping labels onto something that you do not understand or you are not comfortable with. This is a safeguard. This is a spiritual safeguard. Nobody wants to walk around like, oh yeah, I hope everybody's afraid of me. There is a chance that people have been pushing his buttons or misunderstanding him because he now speaks a different language. So maybe he says, everybody's a clone, I don't trust them. That can translate into, nobody's awake around here. Nobody's awake around here. I'm watching my friends like get beat up for money, and the crowds are cheering. And there's so much stuff going behind the fucking scenes, and we gotta be macho masculines and tough. And some of these people who are fighting for entertainment, for sport, are running from households of abuse and just beelining it directly into profitable abuse. So, yeah. Maybe BJ Penn is scary. Maybe he's delusional. Either way, he's got an important story and important voice to share. Can you blame him for not wanting to walk into a room in which he has already been executed? The comments that you are typing, would you say it to his mother's face or his face? And the people that are just 100% on his side, you gotta leave some leeway. You gotta leave some leeway. BJ Penn is not the only powerful man that I've seen run for a government position and not get the position and post weird stuff on Instagram. There are other local boys, men here as well. Maybe it wasn't as severe, but the position they were running for also wasn't as severe. And yes, maybe that person wouldn't yell at their wife or this or that or whatever. But something that really needs to be understood is that the asylums were meant for disabled people and people who did not fit into society, you guys. The base of psychology and psychiatry is locking up people we don't understand. So terms like delusional, God complex, split personalities, psychosis, that shit don't affect me. Because I can see deeper into it. You can't just slap a label on everybody. Because honestly, you guys, if that really worked, would the world be in the condition that it's in right now? I'm not saying that we should completely get rid of martial arts, sports, entertainment. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that the viewers impact that industry. So what can we do? How can the communities, the people cheering when someone's head is split open and bloody, how can we adjust so that we are taking care of everyone that we love? How can we change? Like, yeah, the money is in the competition and I'm gonna shit talk you and this and that and oh, it's just for show. Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. That shit, after you do it so many times, it becomes a part of you. When you are living that lifestyle for so long, it becomes a part of you. The important part to notice is that it's not about dismantling, dismissing, or completely destroying what has already been built. But these freaking injuries, these serious life injuries, cheering, betting for violence. Because maybe it's show on TV, but then you get everybody and their mother and their father and their sisters and their cousins and then the other one, their friends in freaking another state and this one and that one all running their mouth as if they would say these things directly to these fighters. As if these fighters don't respect each other. Or the ones that don't, the beef could have something to do with the industry. Personal belief, personal disruption, disconnect, not getting along, that usually relates to a higher system of beliefs and of treatment. Eben got caught in 2015. He had been doing it for a lot longer. And his mother lied to the papers. The blackmail to the children was to protect the family business. There are more victims in Hawaii, California, and Oregon, possibly. Because instead of facing it head on, they just moved him around and kept him near the children. That does not protect the abuser or the victims. Found out what Eben did. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the? Fuck him. What the fuck? And I took all of his supporter shirts out of my drawers. I wasn't allowed to go watch him fight. But my parents always brought me back a supporter shirt. And when I found out what he did, I threw them all away. I hated him. My best friends got raped in high school. So when I say with all seriousness and sincerity to respect all, I mean it. I mean it. Because everyone deserves love and everyone deserves help. And instead of just saying that, if you actually live it, if you actually choose the aloha, maybe we could actually start making some changes and improvements in our communities. My dad reached points with me, and as far as I know, only with me, where he would not only yell and be violent with his voice, but, you know, and we were able to work through it together. So I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing bad going around about my dad. Because to go from that to this, to who he is now, which is who he has always been, that is a true, authentic motherfucking man. He went from telling me that I talk too much and that he's too tired, because he was overworked, as many men are. Many women are now. In this generation, everybody's overworked. We can sit down and have one whole beautiful conversation. We can talk about things like this. We gotta talk about things like this. And I would like the same for BJ Penn. I would like the same for my friend's rapist. The change isn't just masking and pretending to be a proper member of society. We gotta embody that. Can we bring the spirituality back into martial arts? The base, the foundation, the core, the chakras of the body, the respect of the opponent? Can we bring that into mainstream media, into mainstream sports entertainment. Can we love BJ Penn to health? And if not, that's okay. But damn, I'll be damned if we're not gonna try. Because eventually opponents turn into friends. There's always a bigger opponent. There's always another opponent. But you don't gotta live your life that way. When you know the people around you got your back. When the people around you can detach from whatever they think is right or wrong, good or bad, and can just listen. When they can have that space to truly interpret what you're saying. When they can take accountability for contributing to getting you to that point. Can we make a change? Can we make Hawaii safe again? The reason I had a change of heart was after Eben's funeral. I noticed an owl, Pueo. I also noticed that whenever I was about to come home to explosivity, when I was receiving explosivity over the phone, nowhere near home, that owl would either be sitting on the post on my drive home or flying around me somewhere. When I was in Arizona, there were these cute owls that like built their little nest right there, and sometimes the owls would like be all around. After so many years of not seeing them, not being home, not remembering him, and so if the spirit of Eben, a violent pedophile, is showing up in moments that I am getting abused at home or outside of the home, that told me something. Eben was abused at home. Eben was abused at home. Eben was abused at home, and it affected the entire family and 3 states. So, him showing up for me, my willingness to dive into the psyche of a pedophile, it came from both of his parents. One of the abusers was more rough. The other had to turn into an alcoholic to cope. And people suffered. Everyone suffered because of it. Everyone suffered because of it. And so, this time, especially since it's mostly abuse charges, can we look into the psyche and dive deeper within ourselves to see how we can truly support all abusers and victims involved, not just within this BJ Penn case or this Kaneshiro case, but where is it coming from? What big dogs are allowing this? And how can us as viewers lead through action to show that You don't gotta fit the system. You don't gotta change yourself or fake yourself to be able to make some good money. There's men all over that suffer from the same thing, not even within the martial arts or UFC or whatever fucking industry. Normal guys who also loved sports, who also were abused in sports. How can we love them and how can we show up for them? That is how you will bring BJ Penn and his family some justice. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't type it in the comments. Send love before you send judgment. And wouldn't you know, my dad is pulling into the driveway home from his trip from Japan. Strength, intuition, and creativity, my loves.